Hello everyone, Firecrest Gaming here, and welcome back to the F1 2015 LMP Championship. We're now at round 3 in China. Looking into this, honestly, I don't think this is going to be anyone's best circuit. Neither of the four of us really like China. But that wasn't the worst thing. Yes, David Croft, once again, thank you for a magnificent insight. And it is raining for China. It is intermediate, and this is how it stayed for the entirety of the Grand Prix. It was completely wet all the time, but nevertheless, the 5 lights coming on. Lights out, and away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix, starting on pole position, which was absolutely perfect. Decent start, I'd say, trying to get ahead of Grosjean. You can see him pointing his front nose in there into turn 1. I think we made a tiny bit of contact. It wasn't that bad at all. Heading into turn 2 now, trying to get away from the Frenchman in the Lotus. And you see Dargan 40 there, up into 3rd place. He's had a very good start to this race, and he needs a good start because at the moment he has no points on the board. He has 2 retirements to his name at the moment. Apparently Light Rain's going to be with us for 20 minutes, but I can confirm that because this is an after commentary, it was done for the entirety of the Grand Prix. And look at the map, you can see the white dots there. LMP Statistic was hit off apparently, and then Boss OMG was hit off as well. It was a terrible start for those two, although LMP Statistic did end up having a bit of a recovery drive, and well, you'll find out later basically what happened to them. But it's Grosjean, still in 2nd place ahead of Dargan 40. As we come now through the long 3rd to last corner, yeah. I don't know what this corner's called, but a bit of a slide there, a bit of a exceeding track limits there. I don't know if that's fair or not, but heading down the straight, trying to get the speed up, and now cutting on later in. I don't know, why was there a. Well done editing me, but never mind. And watch now, there you go, Dargan 40 up into 2nd place. We're now leading 1-2 for the LMP guys here in China. But conditions are still very difficult. As you can see, they're going very wide on the exit of the corner. As we cut now onto the end of lap 2, we've already got a fastest lap. But I felt as though, you know what? Let's just do that again, shall we? This is kind of a race of push very hard and continue to get fastest laps over and over again. Basically, trying to pull a Sebastian Vettel. And now onto lap 4, you could see the tyres there very quickly. They were getting very, very hot. You could see, so I'm trying in any way to cool the tyres. This was an ongoing problem. The tyres just would not stay cool. The rear tyres aren't too bad coming into here. They go into the braking zone and they're lighting up again into yellows. Some are even orange, I'd say. I think the front left is more orange, to be honest, than anything else. But into the final corner, and I think this lap was a little bit slower. Not quite as good. I had a decent exit. There you go, not quite as quick on that lap. And onto the end of lap 7. The tyres were shot at this point, so it's time to come into the pits and keep an eye on the top left for a second. And there you go, Rosberg has now worked his way up from, I believe it was about mid-pack on the grid. And he and Dargan 40 having a bit of a scrap at the moment. I believe Gunnar came in with me into the pits, and speaking of which, here's the stop. What's that? Oh, the preview is too small. I couldn't see what that was. 2.4, I think? All I know is that's Rosberg, and once again, for the 2nd race in a row, he's trying the overcut on us and trying to get ahead. That's just, it's not going to work. One, I feel as though the Williams was a tiny bit overpowered. I forgot to change to the Red Bull of all circuits, so I think I had a bit of too much of an advantage on this one, I'll admit. And also, it's just he's got worn tyres and we're on the same tyres, and the marshals are playing stop-go with the flags. Seriously, that people have talked about the online and how generally the game as an overall is broken, so there's no point talking about it, to be honest. But that is the most annoying thing, kind of like playing the yellow green, because you can overtake someone in the green. If they flip it back to yellow the second before you overtake them, then you get the illegal overtake. You have to give the position back, and not to mention yellow flags for people without front wings. You have to give the position back to them. I'm not going to bother adding fire to the inferno that already is the hate for F1 2015. But as I say that, Rosberg goes into the pits and we retake first place of the Chinese Grand Prix. And I'm cutting on to the end of... Oh, sorry, cutting about midway into lap 9, I think? Yeah, midway through lap 9. Everything's just kind of settling down, really. Oh yeah, LMP statistic, there you go. He's now into 3rd place in the race. Dark on 40, I think, had a bit of a mishap around the pit stop laps, and he's dropped a bit. So going on to the end of lap 9, I think we're about to the new fastest lap, because we had a massive slide out of the final corner. And there we are, a new fastest lap of the race. Just trying to ever extend that gap, because if you think of me as overcautious, I don't mind. I don't really care at all what you think. But I prefer to look at it as keeping an eye on every single scenario that could happen. What if on the final lap I got a puncture? And sorry for the driving here. I think my idle TV standby on my TV turned activated, so I had to reach for the remote and drive one-handed for a minute. But as we continue on through lap 10, LMP statistic after that good showing has been disqualified from the session. Unbelievable. Retired in Melbourne after having a terrible race. Retired... sorry, no, he didn't retire. He scored points in Malaysia. Hamilton's now got the fastest lap. And now, statistic has been disqualified here. But yeah, Hamilton now has the fastest lap, which was a tiny bit annoying, I'll admit. Because it was just for honour at this point, because I felt as though kind of like, there's 3 laps to go. I didn't think I was going to lose the lead at this point. So, I think we'll cut now to the end of lap 12. Yes, we shall. I switched cameras at this point because this is how bored I was getting. Seriously, this was quite a boring affair as it was in Malaysia, and there we are. The fastest lap's back to us. But it was kind of a bit more focused because of the conditions. It was just keeping the car on track at every single point, and the ghosting into turn 1 was getting rather annoying. Sorry, we're going too fast, are we, in Formula 1? And now, Dark Gunner 40, after an early promise, has now retired from the race as well. I do feel bad, I must say, for all of them. It's all going terribly wrong. And then Boss OMG retired as well. And my engineer is stupid because he just gave me information, I'm pretty sure, on the weather, and just said, actually, no, we don't have the data for that anymore. Just how... I already said about fire, flame, blah blah blah. So yeah, that was kind of. It wasn't as boring as in Malaysia because obviously I already said as the conditions and a few things did happen throughout. But really, it was just the last lap. It was just kind of bring the car home. DRS got enabled, so I think the track was starting to dry up at this point. So if we did a 50% race, then we would have gone on to dry tyres. But if we did do a 50% race, then I think Bossum G and Dark 40 would have retired. Well, really, I'd be the only person left in the race, and it would just be me going around the track. That would be a rather boring affair. And to be honest, I don't feel like sitting back and having to edit for a 50% race, having to watch all of it over again, to be honest. Not that I'm lazy, but 50% races are about, what, an hour long? I'm already going through just under half an hour of footage. And, we'll get some early celebrations going because, once more, we win 3 out of 3. And we win in China. Right, so there we are. That was the Chinese Grand Prix. I didn't include the podium celebrations because LMP statistic and kind of everybody else, we were a bit annoyed after that race, and rightfully so. It was kind of a bit rubbish in the end with overall what happened with the events. So yeah, that was kind of it in the end. Again, everyone else has a retirement. Well, Statistic has a disqualification to his name, and the other two have their retirements. And yeah, I don't really have much more to say. So next race is Bahrain. Not sure when it's going to be recorded or even uploaded because everyone's a bit uncertain. But I guess that I will see you whenever we do it in Bahrain. I'll see you then, guys. Goodbye.